Hello everyone. Today your class number 24. Class 24 EMFT. Okay. So today some few topics are required or few topics are left for this chapter, that is electrostatics. Okay. So 18th number topic. So topic number 18, boundary condition. Okay, boundary condition. So first you have to know what is boundary. Boundary means, suppose we have to assume two system, first system over here and second system just adjacent of this first one. Okay, suppose it has two system, system A, system B. Okay, this is called the boundary. So boundary is nothing but a space or a line or a volume also. Okay, it may be a line, it may be a space or surface, or it may be a volume. Okay, so whatever it was, so we are taking it as a equation. Okay, we have to find some equation for this boundary condition. Okay, so boundary condition means this system having a characteristics equation, suppose fx, f1x, and this system having another characteristics equation, suppose f2x. Okay, and this common boundary will satisfy both f1x and f2x. Okay, this is the ultimate condition for boundary. Okay, so boundary always satisfy both two characteristics equation for two systems, two adjacent systems. Okay, so here in case of field theory, here we have two types of force. Okay, so we are taking a contour, close contour with over the boundary. We are assuming a close contour over a boundary. Okay, so consider this length is del h, this length is also del h. Okay, and this length is w del w, and this length is del w. We are taking the same. Okay, we are taking the same lengths from. Okay, so now it has some tangential component and it has some normal component. Okay, this is your normal component, this is your tangential component, this is et, this is en. Okay, so for first case et should be et1 for first case, and it should be et2 for second system, and en similarly for en1 for first system and en2 for second system. Okay, en2 for second system. So here we are taking this contour, and over this contour there are several number of effects are there. First one is tangential, and another is your normal component. Okay, so always remember, right, for an electrostatic boundary, that is a boundary in between two electrostatic system, for an electrostatic boundary, that is a boundary in between two electrostatic systems A and B, will satisfy the equation closed line integration E dot dl equals to 0. Okay, it should satisfy the equation E dot dl equals to 0. Okay, so if we separate, if we segregate it, and now it is not a continuous system. Okay, so you can segregate it in terms of summation. Okay, you can segregate it in terms of summation. So by segregating it, it can be written as et2 into del w minus en2 into del h minus en1 into del h minus et1 into del w plus en1 into del h plus en2 into del h equals to 0. Why? Because this is your et1, this is your et1, this is your et2, this is your en1, and it is your en2. 2. Okay, so ET2, first we are taking from ET2. So this ET2 and opposite sign, this ET2 negative of EN2. Okay, so this is your del H. So this EN2 multiplied with del H, EN2 multiplied with del H, and similarly ET2 multiplied with del W. So ET2 multiplied with del W. Then again, if we contour this way, okay, if we contour this way, so it will become positive, it will be negative, it will be negative, and it will again negative because we are taking in direction upward. So it will again negative. So again negative. So now here it will be in this direction. So it will be negative ET1. Okay, ET1 into del W. Okay, so it will be looks like here, right? So these are two positive. So these are two positive. Okay, so why? See, if we assume this contour, suppose this contour has a boundary. So this is your tangential, this is your normal, this is your two normals, and this is two normals. Okay, there are four terminals. Okay, four sections. So for this one, it will be multiplied with del W. So this is your ET2 multiplied with del W, then negative of it, then again negative of it, but these are two positive, right? So you have to take it this equation. Okay, so now write in the limit as the rectangular path approaches the surface, that is as del H tends to 0. Now it is del H tends to 0, that is this small length, it is tends to 0 because we are taking a small surface, but the surface is actually shrinks to 0 because this boundary has minimum 0 tends to 0 width or tends to 0 height. If we consider it is a height, then this section does not totally belongs to this line. So we are taking this del H here will be 0 or del H tends to 0. So if we apply del H tends to 0, then this one will be 0, this one will be 0, this one will be 0, this one will be 0. So ultimate equation what? It will be become ET2 del W minus ET1 del W equals to 0. That is ET2 equals to ET1. This is your first boundary condition. Always remember, for two system, if we satisfy the boundary, that is if we satisfy the two characteristics equation at any common point over the boundary, then we have actually the first condition will be that the tangential component of two system at a boundary will show the same result. Okay, so the tangential component should have the same result. Okay, so this is your first condition for boundary. Okay, and now we will move to the second condition. Okay, so for the second condition we have to find, now write from the Gauss's theorem or Gauss's law, closed surface integration d dot ds equals to volume integration of rho b dv, right? It is very much clear. Okay, so now write, in order to evaluate this integral, at the boundary, let us construct a small Gaussian surface in the form of a box. So again we have to form a Gaussian surface at the boundary. So you have to form a Gaussian surface over the boundary. Okay, as shown in figure. As the height of the box approaches to 0, that is the last time I have discussed del H tends to 0. So here also we have applying this del H tends to 0. Okay, so that is del H tends to 0. Only the components of this D will show it's the normal value. Okay, so there is no tangential components over there, so only the normal values are there. So that will be whenever we are segregating this integral, that is it is not a continuous summation, so it is a discrete summation. That's why we are taking, we can apply the integration as a form of summation. So it will become del n2 into del s minus dn1 into del s equals to limit a del h tends to 0, triple integration of what is your rho v will remains, but this dv will be del H into del S, because we are taking the surface into height, but here del H tends to 0, so we have to apply the limiting concept over here. Okay, so applying this limit, del H tends to 0, as it is a discrete one, left hand side is discrete one, so we can directly ignore the tangential components similar to that previous one. But in case of it is a continuous one, we cannot ignore directly this del H part, so we have to apply the limiting concept over this right hand side of this equation. Okay, so ultimately you can get, so yeah, if we apply this one, then ultimately you can get del n2 minus, sorry, dn2 minus dl1 over the surface del S equals to limit del H tends to 0 rho into del H into del S. Okay, so that means triple integration of rho v will produce a vector rho. Okay, so this del S can be cancelled out from both sides, so ultimately it was dn2 minus dn1 equals to limit del H tends to 0 rho into del H. Okay, okay, so right, this quantity on the right hand side of the above equation results in the limit as del H tends to 0, results in the limit as del H tends to 0 is called the free surface charge density. So when the del H tends to 0, if we apply the limiting concept, so this rho is called free surface charge density. This rho now is called the free surface charge density. It is very much important term, free surface charge density. Okay, so what is the free surface charge density? If it is question in case of your exam purpose, then you have to answer that over the boundary of two electrostatic system. Okay, over the boundary of two electrostatic system, if we apply apply the Gauss's divergence theorem on a point over the boundary, then actually the height of that boundary will shrink to 0, and the surface which is assumed around the boundary contour will becomes limit del H tends to 0 rho into del H, and this rho is called free surface charge density. Then the rho is called the free surface charge density. Okay, so ultimately del n2 minus del l1 equals to rho s. So you can apply directly, right? This is equals to rho s, because if we ignore this del H, so this rho becomes now surface charge density. Okay, which is called free surface charge density, or make it 0. Free surface charge density, which will make it as 0. Okay, so right, this is your second condition. So boundary has these two conditions, and now the third condition for boundary equation. Okay, so now it is the third condition. Okay, here we have Et1 equals to Et2, right, from the first law, or for the first condition. Okay, so suppose the ultimate E is this one, so it has two components, Et1 and Et2, or Et1 and En1. Okay, similarly suppose suppose E2 over here, so it has two components, En2 and Et2. Okay, so suppose this is theta 1 and this is your theta 2. Okay, so Et1 can be written as E1 sin theta 1, because this is your E1, so it is En1, and this is your theta 1 angle, so this En1 is nothing but E1 cos theta 1, and this Et1 equals to E1 sin theta 1, right? So E1 sin theta 1 equals to E2 sin theta 2. Okay, and make it equation number 3. Okay, and now dn2 equals to dn1 when rho is 0 equals to 0. Okay, now if we consider charge free surface, surface, then it will become equal to, then similarly epsilon 1 En1 equals to epsilon 2 En2, right? Because we know the flux density will be equals to permittivity into intensity. Okay, so again En1 equals to what? En1 equals to nothing but E1 cos theta 1, and it will become epsilon 2 into E2 cos theta 2. Okay, so if we divided these two equations, suppose this is equation number 4, now dividing equation 3 to 4, now dividing equation, this equation to that equation, so E1 sin theta 1 by epsilon 1 E1 cos theta 1 equals to E2 sin theta 2, so it is theta 2 by epsilon 2 E2 cos theta 2, epsilon E2 E1 will cancel out, so it will be tan theta 1 by epsilon 1 equals to tan theta 2 by epsilon 2. Okay, so this is your ultimate third condition. Okay, provided this surface charge density will be 0. Okay, that is our charge free surface. For charge free surface only, this third equation will holds true. Actually the boundary condition means these three conditions. So first condition is this one. Okay, second condition is this one for charge free condition or chargeless condition, or charge having, if having any charge, dn2 minus dn1 equals to rho s naught, right? So either this one or that one will be the second condition and it will be your third condition. Okay, so actually it is equation number 5, right? So equation 1, 2 and 5 are 1, 2 and 5 are three boundary conditions for any two electrostatic system. Always remember, this is the boundary condition for two electrostatic system. Two electrostatic system. Okay. So today's topic up to this much. Next day I will continue. Only few topics are left for this module. I think it requires 2 or 3 classes to complete whole module, and next module will be your magnetostatics, which will start after completing this module. Okay, so thank you.